Taylor Mitchell, a name that once resonated with the promise of a burgeoning musical career, now echoes with the haunting whisper of a tragedy that unfolded amidst the breathtaking landscapes of Cape Breton. To understand the magnitude of what happened on that fateful day, October 27, 2009, we need to first understand Taylor herself and the serene, deceptive beauty of the place she chose to explore. Born in Toronto on August 27, 1990, Taylor was more than just a singer. She was a storyteller, a poet with a guitar. Even as a teenager, her music possessed a depth and maturity that belied her years. Her voice, clear and emotive, had a haunting quality that could captivate an audience, drawing them into the raw honesty of her lyrics. She wasn't just performing songs, she was sharing pieces of her soul. In 2009, at the young age of 18, she released her debut album, For Your Consideration. It was a collection of introspective folk songs, filled with poignant observations about life, love, and loss. The response was immediate and overwhelmingly positive. Critics lauded her talent, comparing her to established artists and predicting a bright future for this rising star. CBC called her work remarkably accomplished, and the Canadian folk music scene embraced her with open arms. Taylor embarked on an East Coast tour, her music resonating with audiences from Newfoundland to Nova Scotia. Yet, despite the growing recognition and the excitement of her burgeoning career, Taylor harbored a deep longing for something more profound than fame. She craved a connection to the natural world, a sense of peace and solitude that she found in the quiet beauty of the outdoors. She was, by all accounts, a gentle soul, an introspective young woman who found inspiration in long walks and hikes. Her music often reflected her deep connection with nature, with lyrics that painted vivid pictures of landscapes and evoked a sense of wonder and awe. It was this love of nature that ultimately drew her to Cape Breton Highlands National Park. Located on the northern tip of Nova Scotia, Cape Breton Highlands National Park is a place of raw, untamed beauty. Towering cliffs plunge into the turbulent waters of the Atlantic Ocean, creating dramatic coastal vistas that are both breathtaking and humbling. Inland, the landscape is dominated by rolling hills, dense forests, and pristine lakes, a haven for wildlife and a sanctuary for those seeking solace in nature. The Cabot Trail, a scenic highway that winds its way through the park, is renowned for its panoramic views and is considered one of the most beautiful drives in the world. It was here, amidst this stunning scenery, that Taylor sought a moment of respite during her tour. On October 27th, with a few days to spare before her next performance, she decided to explore the park's most iconic hiking trail, the Skyline Trail. The Skyline Trail is a relatively easy loop, approximately 7 kilometers in length, that is, popular with both tourists and locals. It offers stunning views of the Gulf of St. Lawrence and the surrounding highlands. The trail meanders through a boreal forest, eventually leading to a dramatic headland cliff overlooking the ocean. It's a place where you can feel the wind in your hair, smell the salt in the air, and witness the vastness of the natural world. A place of unparalleled beauty as Taylor set out on the Skyline Trail that afternoon. She was alone, with only her thoughts and the sounds of nature to accompany her. The air was crisp and cool, carrying the scent of pine and damp earth. The leaves on the trees were ablaze with autumn colors, creating a vibrant tapestry of red, orange, and gold. She was, by all accounts, in her element. It was supposed to be a moment of peaceful reflection, a chance to recharge and reconnect with herself. But lurking beneath the surface of this idyllic scene was a hidden danger. a threat that Taylor, like many others, was unaware of. Cape Breton Highlands National Park is also home to a population of eastern coyotes, a species that has adapted to thrive in the harsh conditions of the Canadian wilderness. These coyotes are larger and more robust than their western counterparts, and many carry wolf DNA, a result of generations of interbreeding that has made them bolder and more adaptable. While coyotes are generally shy and avoid human contact, there had been reports of increased boldness in certain areas of Cape Breton. Instances of coyotes following hikers, growling in the distance, and preying on livestock had been documented. But these incidents were relatively infrequent, and park officials had issued only minimal warnings. The prevailing belief was that coyotes posed little threat to humans. Tragically, this belief would soon be shattered in the most horrific way imaginable. As Taylor hiked along the Skyline Trail, she was being watched. Unseen eyes followed her every step. A pack of coyotes, driven by instinct and opportunity, had singled her out. What began as a peaceful hike would soon transform into a terrifying struggle for survival, a brutal encounter with the raw power of nature. And in a cruel twist of fate, a place of breathtaking beauty would become the site of an unspeakable tragedy, forever changing the way we view the delicate balance between humans and the wild. The Skyline Trail was about to become a stage 4, a nightmare. The Skyline Trail. Early afternoon, October 27th, 2009. The air, crisp and cool, held the scent of pine and damp earth. Taylor, alone with her thoughts and the rustling leaves, continued her hike. She probably expected a peaceful stroll, a chance to connect with nature, maybe even find inspiration for a new song. What she encountered instead was a nightmare unfolding. In slow motion, picture this. The path winds along the edge of a plateau, offering stunning panoramic views. But on either side, thick spruce and fir trees create a dense, shadowed barrier. Ideal cover for, well, you know that the attack wasn't a sudden pounce, not initially. It was a calculated, creeping dread. Perhaps a twig snapped behind her, a little too loud. Or maybe she caught a flicker of movement in her peripheral vision, dismissed it as a bird, a trick of the light. But the feeling, that prickling unease, on the back of her neck, that was real. Coyotes, they're not wolves, right? We think of them as scavengers, opportunists, maybe a nuisance raiding garbage cans in the suburbs. But these weren't your average coyotes. These were eastern coyotes, larger, bolder, with a healthy dose of wolf DNA thrown into the mix. In Cape Breton, they were evolving, adapting, and learning a terrifying lesson that some humans are vulnerable. Imagine her hiking along, maybe humming a melody, lost in thought. Then, a low growl, barely audible, but unmistakable. She stops, her heart pounding, turns slowly, scanning the trees. Nothing, just the wind, the rustling leaves. She tells herself it's her imagination, keeps walking, a little faster now, but the feeling persists. She's being watched. She can feel it. And then, there it is again, a growl, closer this time, more menacing. Two sets of eyes reflecting back in the dwindling sunlight. Golden eyes, cold, calculating eyes. They emerge from the shadows, not running, not barking, but stalking. Two coyotes, larger than she expected, their fur matted and bristled, their teeth bared in a silent snarl. They circle her, slowly, deliberately, cutting off her escape. Panic sets in, her breath catches in her throat. She fumbles for her phone, her hands shaking. No signal, of course, no signal. She's alone, isolated, miles from help. Just her and the predators circling closer. The attack begins. It's brutal, chaotic, terrifying. Not a clean, quick kill, but a drawn-out assault. One coyote lunges, snapping at her legs, trying to knock her off balance. She screams, a primal scream of terror that echoes through the trees. She fights back, kicking, flailing her arms, trying to fend them off. But they're too fast, too strong. The other coyote attacks from the side, sinking its teeth into her arm. She cries out in pain, her blood mixing with the dirt and leaves. They're relentless, driven by something primal, something instinctual. They tear at her clothes, ripping flesh. She falls to the ground, helpless, overwhelmed. The attack continues. A blur of teeth and claws, of pain and terror. And then a sound, a human voice, a hiker, Michael McKean, drawn by her screams. He rushes towards the scene, yelling, waving a stick, trying to scare them away. The coyotes hesitate for a moment, startled by the sudden intrusion. One of them backs off, snarling, but the other remains, its eyes fixed on Taylor, its teeth bared. It's like they don't even fear him. A wave of terror washes over McKean as he grabs his phone and dials 911, struggling to speak through his fear. Hello, I need help. There's a woman, ... She's being attacked. She's bleeding everywhere. She's still alive, but she won't be for long. His voice cracks with desperation. He can hear the coyotes circling again, the low growls, the sickening sound of tearing flesh. The dispatcher struggles to understand. Sir, where ... Where are you right now? Skyline Trail, Cape Breton Highlands. It's coyotes, 2 of them. They're still there. Oh my God, ... They're not running. They're circling her. McKean keeps yelling, trying to keep the coyotes at bay, but he knows he can't hold them off forever. Every second feels like an eternity. He watches, helpless, as the coyotes continue their attack. Their aggression unlike anything he's ever witnessed. Meanwhile, the emergency call is relayed to park rangers. They race to the scene, sirens wailing, guns drawn, the adrenaline pumping through their veins. They know this is different. This isn't a bear encounter, a simple wildlife nuisance. This is something far more sinister. They arrive to a scene of carnage. The air is thick with the smell of blood and fear. McKean is frantically waving them down, his face pale with shock. The coyotes are still there, circling, growling. The rangers open fire, blasting warning shots. Into the air, one of the coyotes bolts, disappearing into the trees. But the other hesitates, defiant, its eyes locked on Taylor. Finally, with a last snarl, it turns and vanishes into the woods. The rangers rush to Taylor's side. She's lying on the ground, barely conscious, her body covered in blood. Her clothes are ripped and torn, her skin shredded. Deep gashes cover her legs, her arms, her torso. One of the rangers, a seasoned veteran, has seen a lot in his years on the job, but nothing like this. He's sickened by the brutality of the attack. He radios for a medevac helicopter, his voice tight with urgency. We need immediate air support. Female victim, multiple coyote attacks, severe trauma, Skyline Trail, ETA now. They work frantically to stabilize her, applying pressure to the wounds, trying to stop the bleeding. But it's no use. She's losing too much blood. Her breathing is shallow, her pulse weak. As they wait for the helicopter, they can hear the distant howl of a coyote, a chilling reminder of the horror that has just unfolded. They look at each other, a grim understanding passing between them. Something has changed in these woods. The old rules no longer apply, and a young, vibrant life is hanging in the balance. The world stood still, or at least it felt that way. The news of Taylor Mitchell's death ripped through Canada and beyond. A brutal headline splashed across every major news outlet. Folk singer killed by coyotes in Cape Breton National Park. The words screamed, impossible to reconcile with the serene images of the Skyline Trail and the vibrant photos of a young woman with a guitar and a promising future. The initial shock quickly morphed into a complex tapestry of grief, disbelief, and urgent questions. How could this happen in a national park? To a young woman simply out for a hike. The sheer improbability of it all made the tragedy even harder to comprehend. The immediate aftermath was a blur of activity. The RCMP, along with park officials and wildlife experts, launched a full-scale investigation. The Skyline Trail was immediately closed to the public, transformed from a scenic escape into a crime scene. Every inch of the area was meticulously searched, photographed, and analyzed. They needed to understand exactly what had transpired in those final, horrifying moments. The primary objective: locate the coyotes responsible for the attack. This wasn't about retribution, at least not primarily. It was about public safety. Understanding the behavior of these animals was crucial to preventing future incidents. Traps were set, and experienced trackers followed the coyotes' trails through the dense undergrowth. Within days, several coyotes were located and, tragically, euthanized. This decision was met with mixed reactions. Some saw it as a necessary evil, a measure to protect human lives. Others, particularly animal rights advocates, argued that it was unfair to punish the animals for what they perceived as natural behavior. It was a difficult, emotionally charged situation with no easy answers. The examination of the euthanized coyotes revealed a chilling truth. One of the animals tested positive for Taylor Mitchell's blood. There was no doubt these were the attackers, but the why remained elusive. Were they starving? Diseased? Had they become habituated to humans, losing their natural fear through careless feeding by tourists? Experts began to piece together a disturbing picture. The eastern coyotes of Cape Breton, larger and more aggressive than their western counterparts, were known to carry wolf DNA. This genetic cocktail, the result of interbreeding, may have contributed to their bolder, more predatory behavior. The investigation also uncovered a history of less publicized incidents. Reports of coyotes following hikers, of livestock being attacked, of an overall increase in boldness. These incidents, dismissed as minor or isolated, now seemed like warning signs, precursors to the tragedy that had unfolded. As the investigation continued, theories emerged, each more unsettling than the last. One theory suggested that Taylor, being of slight build and moving quickly along the trail, may have triggered a predatory response. The coyotes may have perceived her not as a human, but as prey. It was a chilling thought, a reminder of the primal forces that still lurk beneath the surface of the natural world. Another theory focused on the increasing human encroachment into coyote territory. As development expanded and natural habitats shrank, coyotes were forced into closer proximity with humans, increasing the likelihood of conflict. Regardless of the specific cause, the attack served as a stark wake-up call. The line between humans and wildlife, once seemingly clear, had blurred, and Taylor Mitchell had become the tragic symbol of that shift. The shock and grief extended far beyond the immediate community. Tributes poured in from fellow musicians, fans, and even strangers, who were deeply moved by Taylor's story. Her music, once known primarily within the folk music scene, became an anthem for remembrance and a reminder of the fragility of life. Candlelight vigils were held in Toronto, Halifax, and other cities across Canada. Her songs played on repeat. On the radio, a haunting soundtrack to a nation in mourning. Social media was flooded with messages of condolence and support for her family. But amidst the grief, a remarkable act of grace emerged. Taylor's mother, Emily Mitchell, displayed an extraordinary level of composure and understanding in the face of unimaginable loss. Her statement, released shortly after Taylor's death, resonated deeply with the public. She didn't express anger or call for vengeance. Instead, she emphasized Taylor's love for nature and her belief in respecting wildlife. Taylor wouldn't want people to fear wildlife, she said. She would want them to understand it. This message of understanding and respect became the foundation of the Taylor Mitchell Legacy Fund, established by her family and friends. The fund aimed to promote wildlife, education, and conservation, to prevent future tragedies by fostering a deeper understanding of the complex relationship between humans and the natural world. The Legacy Fund supported various initiatives, including educational programs for children, research into coyote behavior, and the development of strategies for minimizing human-wildlife conflict. It was a testament to Taylor's spirit, a way to transform tragedy into something positive, something that would honor her memory and prevent others from suffering the same fate. The Legacy Fund became a symbol of hope, a reminder that even in the face of unimaginable loss, it's possible to find meaning and purpose. It served as a call to action, urging people to become more aware of the delicate balance of the ecosystem and to take responsibility for their impact on the natural world. The story of Taylor Mitchell is a cautionary tale, a reminder that even in the most beautiful and seemingly peaceful places, danger can lurk. But it's also a story of resilience, of hope, and of the enduring power of the human spirit. It's a story that continues to resonate today, inspiring people to respect wildlife, to protect the environment, and to live life to the fullest, just as Taylor Mitchell did.